Hello, everyone. As I explained earlier, my research question is, how did online school affect high school learning for current college freshmen? So some demographics would include that 87% of public schools reported that the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted economical development during the 2021 to 2022 school year, according to data released today by the National Center for Education Statistics, also known as NCES. Similarly, 84% of public schools also agreed or strongly agreed that students' behavioral development has also been negatively impacted. So on the graph on the side, you can see that it represents the Americans' perceptions of the quality and value of in-person and online education are diverse. So the light green represents online learning, the dark blue represents hybrid, and the light blue represents in-person. So I'm just going to play a quick video from a news source that explains the impacts of distance learning.
Online learning has become the norm in our schools as COVID-19 continues to make an impact in the classroom. Canvas has been a program that has been utilized across Valley schools, and now those involved in the program have new data on how distance learning has impacted our kids. Trenton Goebel, Vice President of K-12's Product Strategy, joins us now.
That a lot of students really were impacted potentially negatively during that time period.
So to get a more personal insight of what online learning was like for high school students during that time period, I interviewed my fellow classmate who is now a first year in college. So I'm just going to play a quick snippet of the interview.
Hello and welcome to my interview. My name is Sarita Desiger and today I'll be interviewing a fellow student. Which question is about the impact of online learning for students in high school who are now in college. Can you tell me a bit about how your experience was with online learning and online school during COVID-19 and how it has impacted you?
For me, COVID-19, it was a big change for me. But in my opinion, I didn't feel I was at first happy about it. So it's like, okay, I can do online school at the comfort of my home. So the first few months, I was feeling like, oh, this is great and stuff. But then when exams and tests were coming up, I realized that, oh, this is not really helping me and stuff because it wasn't really like helping me as much because I wasn't like wanting to remember the materials itself. It's like I could be like, oh, I could keep this here and look at it while taking my tests and stuff. And also plus some of my professors were like, we can also use open notes and stuff, which even though open notes is good for grades and stuff, it's not good for remembering stuff. So like on tests, when we're not allowed to use open notes and stuff, that did take a toll on me.
I see. So did you feel like your learning habits were kind of sort of affected by this?
Yeah, my learning habits for sure took a toll because of COVID-19 with this.
So according to the Journal of Educational Technology and Society called The Effects of Self-Efficacy and Online Learning, Mind States on Learning and Effectiveness During the COVID-19 Lockdown, there are 5 factors that would affect learning during online schooling during the pandemic. So these would include internet efficacy, self-efficacy of interacting with learning content measurement, internet cognitive measurement, mind unwandered measurement, and perceived ineffectiveness of online learning measurement. So these factors, the first one would be internet self-efficacy. So the internet self-efficacy scale was originally developed by Eastern and LaRose to assess the undergraduate students' internet self-efficacy. So questions that were being asked to the students would be for an example of these questions would be, I'm confident in successfully dealing with the emergent problems of human-computer interaction in online learning. And if I come across any trouble while using a website to learn, I'm confident in overcoming it. So these questions basically measured if the student had any problems using the resources and websites provided with online learning. The second factor would be self-efficacy of interacting with learning content measurement. So this factor was integrated by Kuo and Kao and Tsai in 2009. So questions that were developed to measure this factor would include, if I come across difficult content in e-learning, I have confidence in my ability to learn it well, and I have the confidence to understand new content on an e-learning platform. So basically, this factor measured how students were able to, if they did not understand anything during online learning, if they felt confident learning it, like having the confidence to learn that material during that time period. The third factor would be internet cognitive fatigue measurement. So questions that were developed to measure this factor would be, I lose concentration very quickly during online learning, and I reach attention deficit very quickly during online learning. So this factor was developed to measure if students were focused during online learning, and if they got like how quickly or fastly they would lose concentration or focus. The second to last factor, mind unwandered measurement, was a scale originally developed by Brown and Ryan in 2003 to measure participants' general tendency to pay attention to assessing natural propensity and to focus on the current moment. So questions that were developed to measure this factor was, when studying online, I can follow the teacher's teaching steps even if I'm away from the teacher, and if I'm learning online, I don't leave the learning interface to do things that aren't related to what I'm learning in class. So this factor basically measures if students felt comfortable learning the same way that they would during like in-person school compared to online school, and how quickly or fastly they were, or if they were getting distracted or not. So if they were finding like other things to do while learning was going on, how quickly they got distracted. And the last factor, the perceived ineffectiveness of online learning measurement, was developed by Hung et al. In 2021 to measure college students' perceived learning ineffectiveness. So questions that were developed to test this factor were, since learning online, my learning efficiency has decreased, and since learning online, the quality of my homework has gotten worse. So basically, this factor measures how like the students, how they feel about online learning. So if they feel like their performance is improving, or if it has decreased and like their learning abilities have improved or decreased, and if their quality of like their homeworks, let's say like actual test scores and homework, has decreased because of online learning. So it's how the students feel like as how the students feel they are doing. So some possible solutions to perhaps fix this kind of backtracking that we did during online school right now as college freshmen, because half of our high school experience was online. And these old habits we find have been carrying on into college as well. So some possible solutions that I found was to review old material once it is taught, as well as study in the traditional method and avoid taking shortcuts unless it is completely necessary. And here's my works cited. Thank you so much.